Recording in progress.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to EHEF Indonesia 2024 pre-event talk show series Meet the EU. My name is Chandani and I will be your moderator for today's session. So today we have two speakers representing two different European countries. One from a representative from France, the other one is representing Ireland. And the first one is Chaymaa Neddad. Hi, Chaymaa.
Hi, hello everyone.
So Chaymaa is the national coordinator of Campus France Indonesia. And then the next one is Miranda. Hi, Miranda.
Hi, Chandini. Hi, everyone.
Right, so Miranda is consultant for education in Ireland for Indonesian region. So both of them are going to be joining today's talk show. And they will be sharing a lot of information for everyone participating in today's webinar. And hopefully you'll be able to get more information both about Ireland and about France as well, and the different institutions available for EHEF 2024. And then you can also have questions about scholarship. So feel free to explore the information that will be offered during this session. And we will welcome questions from each one of you. Feel free to submit your question in Indonesian or in English in the Q&A box. And they will be taking one question for each representative. So one for France, and then the other one is for Ireland. And then for you who still have lots of questions to ask about EHEF, about the institutions participating in EHEF, feel free to attend the EHEF that will be held in Yogyakarta on the 30th of October, and then in Jakarta on the 2nd and the 3rd of November. So feel free to join both events, and we will be seeing you there. All right. So for today's presentation, as I mentioned, we're going to be having the first presentation coming from France. So Chaymaa, are you ready for the presentation?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, so without further ado, over to you, Chaymaa. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm sharing my screen. Okay, can you see it?
Yes, all good.
Yeah, that's perfect then. So hello everyone. Selamat siang semua. My name is Chaymaa Neddad, and I work as the national coordinator of Campus France Indonesia. And today, with my colleague Miranda, I'm here to give you the main reasons why you should come study in Europe. So for me, especially in France, and I really hope that we will be able to convince you to come to the fair. So first, before I start, I would like to explain to you what is Campus France Indonesia. So Campus France Indonesia is actually a part of an institution called Campus France. And Campus France was founded by the French government, and its main mission is to promote studies in France. So we actually have Campus France offices everywhere, all around the world. And we have 5 offices here in Indonesia. So one in Jakarta, one in Bandung, one in Surabaya, one in Yogyakarta, and one in Medan. I will share with you their contact at the end of the presentation. So our main mission is really to help Indonesian students to elaborate a study project and then help them throughout all the administrative applications such as university, school application, visa application. So everything, all these kind of things, we'll be here to help you with that and support you with it. So actually, you need to know, because I met some Indonesian students who always ask me how much is it like to come and have an appointment with Campus France, and I always say that it's actually free of charge. All the services that we provide are free, so please do not hesitate to book an appointment with us. We will be more than happy to accompany you, and actually you can come to the fair and we can book some appointment together. So yeah. So now, let's move on to the main part. So why should you come study in France? So the first reason actually, and I think it's one of the most important, is best money for value. So there is one thing that you should know, maybe you already know, but actually France is the third country with the most ranked universities in the top 50 of Shanghai ranking, which shows its excellence in higher education. Also, which is very important to know, France is one of the countries that offer the lowest rate of tuition fees. So actually, I don't know, maybe you want to do a bachelor's degree, then you will pay only 2,800 euros. And it is really cheap, like compared maybe to the US or other countries. So why it is this cheap is because the French government actually takes care up to 12,000 euro of tuition fees per student and per year. But there is something that you need to note is that those rates apply to public universities. When it comes to private schools, such as business schools or art schools or whatever, the tuition fees may be higher. So once again, we can give you all the information about this when you will meet with the institution during the fair. Also, another important information is that you've got the possibility of working 12 hours per week as an international student. So it means that you can make extra money to be able to live comfortably as an international student in France. So that's why I like to call this reason best money for value. So you can have high quality higher education, and at the same time, you can live comfortably when it comes to money. The second reason that I would like to share with you is diverse scholarships available. I think that it's very important for Indonesian students to have this information in mind. So actually, we have French scholarship, which is called France Excellence. So we've got France Excellence and France Excellence EHEF. So it's for 1 year, and it can apply to all kinds of students. So if you want to do a bachelor's degree, you can apply to it. If you want to do a master's degree, you can apply to it. If you want to do doctorate programs, you can also apply to it. But please note that you have some criteria, of course, to respect. And also, it's a little bit competitive because we don't have that much scholarships to give. So yeah. And then we have the Indonesian scholarship. So I'm sure that most of you actually know about it. So we've got LPDP, ISMA-ISMAVO, BIM, Cominfo. And actually about LPDP, what you need to know is that the French government and the Indonesian government last year, they decided to co-fund programs, which is called LPDP Campus France. And actually, it's only eligible to French universities and French schools. So it means that that's a specific list for the French institutions. So like besides the LPDP regular list that you already know, you need to know that there is also this kind of list which is specific to France. So do not hesitate to go on their website, because I know that you can find easily the list of all the university and schools that are eligible to LPDP. And of course, if you want more information, you can come to our booth. We will be here at the fair to answer all your questions. Then the third reasons, and I think it's important to know, because I think Indonesian people don't have this in mind, is that it's not because you're going to France that you have to speak French. So actually, we've got more than 1,600 programs taught in English and in all kinds of fields. So you really don't have to worry about your French languages. It is okay if you only speak in English. Even though personally, I think it's better to speak a little bit French for your daily life in France, of course. The fourth reason is that France is a country of innovation and research. So actually, we've got more than 75 Nobel Prizes won by French researchers, 13 Fields medals. We also home to big companies such as Airbus, Michelin, Thales, L'Oréal, Sanofi, Ubisoft. You may know this kind of companies. And then I would like to highlight one point, which is about green skills. So France also excels also in some green skills, especially in biomarine, energy transition, renewable energies, agroecology. And actually, it's very interesting because not so long ago, one of my colleagues met with a French alumni, an Indonesian French alumni, who is now working in an NGO for the conservation of biomarine in Indonesia. And it happens that this person actually studied in University of Bordeaux, which is in France. And thanks to this master's degree there, he was able to find this job in this NGO and work in the conservation of biomarine. Also, France and Indonesia actually have a lot of cooperation when it comes to research in sustainability. And for example, we have a cooperation for conservation of whale sharks in Indonesia. And it's a work between French people and Indonesian people, which is quite interesting. And it shows that how both countries can work together when it comes to sustainability.
Chaymaa, 2 more minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So the first one is that you got a big Indonesian community in France throughout the PPI and the French alumni networks. And okay, let me show you some inspiring alumni. Maybe you know them. So just to give you an idea that if you come to France, you can really do great when you come back to Indonesia. Then to finish, I just want to tell you that there will be 16 French universities in school. So 4 French engineering schools, 4 French universities, and 8 French business schools. So all of them will be in Jakarta, not all of them in Yogyakarta. So please check the EHEF website. You will see the list of the universities that will be in Jogja. So what I can tell you is that please think about what you want to study, what you want to do, and do not hesitate to note already the schools that you want to meet, the university that you want to meet. So then you will have time to see the most important one to you. So yeah, that's it. So let me show you again if you want to see. Maybe we can share the presentation after, I don't know. And to finish, here is the contact of the 5 offices that I talked to you about earlier. And please do not hesitate to follow us on our social media so you can be up to date with French higher education. So thank you so much for listening, and please do not hesitate if you have any questions. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Chaymaa. So
you.
for each one of you who's curious about what kind of higher education institutions from France who will be participating at EHEF, you can check it out at virtual.ehef.id to get more information about the event, the institutions, and then the scholarship providers, so you can get everything on the EHEF website. So thank you so much, Chaymaa.
Thank you.
We're going to get back to you with questions later.
Yeah.
But before that, we're going to be welcoming Miranda. Hi, Miranda.
Hi, Chandini, and everyone.
Right.
Selamat siang.
Right. So you're ready with your presentation?
Yes, I am.
All right. So feel free to share your screen and go ahead. Thank you.
Thanks. Is this visible?
Yes, all good.
Okay, great. Okay, selamat siang. Good afternoon, everyone. And from France, we fly to Ireland. My name is Miranda, and I am the consultant for education in Ireland. So for all of you that don't know education in Ireland, we are mandated by the Minister of Higher Education and Skills to promote our 27 Irish universities in Indonesia. So Ireland, as an overview, we are a small country compared to other European countries across the border. We are situated in the western part of Europe, and our friendly neighbor is the United Kingdom. We have a population of 5 million people, and we are the only English-speaking country in Europe. Ireland is also known for being the most creative and innovative country. I think you might be familiar with some of the Irish musicians, such as Westlife, Cranberries, etc. They all come from Ireland. We are also very proud to have 1,800 multinational companies set up their businesses in Ireland, starting from information technology companies, pharmaceutical companies, gaming companies, etc. I think another fascinating fact about Ireland is that you, as an international student, are allowed to work part-time in Ireland. So you can work 20 hours during your study time and 40 hours during your Christmas and summer holidays. I think what's also fascinating about Ireland is that the visa for Indonesians is free for tourists and students. The other interesting fact why you should consider Ireland as your study destination is that after you complete your undergrad degree in Ireland, you are allowed to stay back for 1 year. For the potential students that are wanting to study masters and PhD in Ireland, the Irish government will let you stay back for 2 years in Ireland to seek for a job. I think safety is also something important that I should address here. Ireland consecutively since 2020 until this day, 2024, has maintained its rank for being the most peaceful country in the world. You can see from this slide that Ireland has now ranked #2 in the world for being the most peaceful country and happiest country for international students. As my French colleague also mentioned, we also have the Indonesian Student Association in Ireland. Please feel free to follow their Instagram and email them for further information. As I mentioned earlier, we have 27 universities in Ireland, and you will be quite lucky to meet 3 out of the 27 during the European Higher Education Fair this year in Yogyakarta and Jakarta. University of College Dublin will be attending, as well as University of Galway, including the Southeast Technological University. So what subjects are offered in Ireland? I would advise you to visit the Qualifax website. You can see there to check out which subjects are available for you. But throughout our time in Indonesia, we have found considerably a huge number of Indonesian students wanting to study ICT subjects. As you can see there, 9 of the top 10 ICT companies are headquartered in Ireland, such as Google, Apple, Microsoft, etc. Of course, our Irish universities also offer STEM, business, economics, arts, humanities, and medicine. Now come to the part where Government of Ireland scholarships, yes, they are available for you. So the relevant for Indonesian students that you can apply is obviously through the Irish Research Council and also the Higher Education Authority. Similar to the French colleagues, we have our Irish universities on the LPDP list and also through the Indonesian International Student Mobility Award. So as the EHEF colleagues have mentioned that we should start focusing on green jobs and sustainability. Well, in Ireland, there are 7 Irish universities that focus on green jobs and sustainability. So you can research further there, and you can obviously speak with the colleagues when they're in Indonesia. I think the skills and knowledge gained when you are studying green-related subjects in Ireland, it will equip you with technical skills, analytical skills, and obviously project management. I think for career paths in Ireland, we have a diverse option here for you. You can become an environmental consultant, a renewable energy specialist, a sustainability manager, a policy analyst. As the demand for professionals in these fields is growing in Indonesia, studying in Ireland can provide a global perspective and advanced skill that are increasingly sought after in both European and Indonesian job markets. This is my contact in Indonesia. Please feel free to WhatsApp or SMS me. We also have some social media channels through Instagram at educationinireland.asean, as well as the Facebook ASEAN page. Okay, that is it from me. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Thank you so much, Miranda. Right, so both of our speakers have already delivered their points, the information they're ready to provide over here. And I think we have arrived in the talk show session. So I'll be having lots of questions actually for both speakers. But for each one of you, for the audience who's interested in dropping their own questions, feel free to drop your questions in the Q&A box. and then we will pick one question for each speaker. So in total, we're going to be having two questions from the audience that will be addressed directly to the speakers. And yeah, feel free to drop your questions. But first of all, I think because we're talking about EHEF that will be held in Jakarta, in Yogyakarta, I would like to understand from each one of you, from both Miranda and Chaymaa, for example, what would be the most important homework that Indonesian students can do or should do prior to visiting EHEF, prior to meeting representatives at EHEF? So who would like to answer first, Chaymaa or Miranda?
Oh, okay. Then I will go first. So
Yeah.
I think like the main, I mean, there will be a lot of institutions, a lot of European schools and universities. So I think it's important to know exactly what, not exactly, but to have an idea of what you want to study. Do you want to be more in the sustainability? Are you more interested in the business, or maybe a mix of them? And so I think it's good to have some ideas of what you want to study, and then maybe go to the EHEF website and see the list of all the institutions and be, oh, this business school. I think maybe I want to visit her like in priority, and then see the other one after. So maybe, yeah, try to, how to say that, to organize a little bit your time when you will be there. But I think, yeah, the only tip that I may have is like, try to be a little bit more clear about what you want to do, what you want to study.
Okay. All right. And how about you, Miranda? Anything that the students
Okay.
need to prepare prior to coming to EHEF?
Yeah, I think over the years joining the European Higher Education Fair, Chandini, it is important for students to prepare their academic profile, such as transcripts, as well as their English language test scores, and obviously compile some extracurricular activities that they may have had in the past. That would help very much the colleagues at the booths to explain further about subjects offered in their reputable universities. I think as Chaymaa mentioned as well, prepare specific questions such as program specializations, faculty expertise, career services, student life. I think that is all quite important for Indonesian students to ask our colleagues during the EHEF Fair this year.
All right. So first of all, I think I would like to combine the answer from both Chaymaa and Miranda. So first of all, it is better if each participant has actually a better idea about what they want to study, what kind of program they're looking for example. So hopefully before coming there, they can also check out the EHEF website, and they would have a better idea about which higher education institution would provide the relevant programs for them. And during the event, they will be able to meet directly with the representatives. And as Miranda mentioned, it will be better to provide some documents as well, to bring your documents like your transcript, for example, your English proficiency test, for example. So you will be better equipped to have a conversation with the representatives, have some kind of like personalized consultation in that sense. Right. I think I would like to proceed to the next question. So, for example, we're talking about, because Miranda mentioned in her presentation earlier about green and sustainability jobs. And it turns out that today, green and sustainability jobs are, widely available, and the candidates who have capabilities, who have competencies in these fields are, highly sought after by different organizations and companies. So when it comes to green and sustainability jobs, I think I would like to go to Miranda first. Again, about the what is that? The which higher education institutions would be better suited for those who are looking for programs related to green and sustainability.
Thank you, Chandini, for the question. I think for Ireland universities, there are a few that students can research further. Obviously, as I mentioned earlier, University College Dublin and University of Galway will be in Indonesia during the fair. So UCD, University College Dublin, is one on the list. And then there's Trinity College Dublin, which is also based in our capital city. The third one is the Technological University Dublin, which is also situated in our capital city. Obviously, University of Galway, Maynooth University, and last but not least is the Technological University of Shannon, which have two campuses in Ireland, in the city of Athlone and Limerick.
All right. So there are University College Dublin, Galway University, Trinity College, and then Technology University of Dublin. So that's some of the higher education institutions from Ireland who will be able to provide programs related to green jobs and sustainability. And how about you, Chaymaa? Any particular institutions from France will be able to provide such programs as well?
Yeah, so yeah, actually we have some, especially like the engineering schools actually. So if, for example, INT Atlantic, they are an engineering school, and I think you can find some programs related to sustainability. But it will be more about renewable energies, and about ecology transition as well. We also have universities that actually offers a very wide range of fields of study. And for example, I'm thinking about Aix-Marseille University. Since they are on the south, so most of the time they offer like programs on biomarine, for example. So yeah, so you can, I think about those both main schools for the sustainability. And of course, we also have l'École Polytechnique, which is also an engineering school, and you can find programs maybe about agroecology or things like that too. So do not hesitate to meet with them if you are interested in this kind of fields. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Chaymaa. So since we're talking about green and sustainability, for example, of course, like obviously, the ones who are interested in taking programs related to green and sustainability would normally try to pursue the career path in green and sustainability as well, right? In related to green jobs, sustainability jobs. So I think I would like to hear from Miranda. I think, like for example, what kind of companies usually looking for green and sustainability, providing green and sustainability jobs? Like, for example, is it tech companies? Is it pharmaceutical companies? What kind of companies usually looking for talents for green and sustainability jobs?
Yes, you're quite right, actually, and you took the words right off my mouth. It's mostly the tech companies as well as the pharmaceutical companies. You know, as you well may know, as I mentioned earlier, you know, there's Google, Apple, Microsoft, as well as the big pharma companies, you know, such as Moderna, Johnson and Johnson. Obviously, these are the you know, the industries that will you know, accept students after studying related you know, programs offered by our Irish university. I think obviously similar to our colleagues from France, our universities in Ireland have a very close relationship with industry, Chandini, so that makes it quite easy for students to navigate their plans for career later on. I think Ireland is also, you know, has a strong focus on sustainability and environmental protection. You know, the government and our Irish universities have outlined a few, you know, action plans together with students to you know, to for the prospects in the green sustainable sector. I maybe also would like to add, as Chaymaa mentioned, you know, there are also a few subjects that these 7 Irish universities offer. You know, there's environmental science, renewable energy, engineering, sustainable agriculture, environmental law, and sustainable business. So there's a lot of opportunity, I think, for Indonesian students for finding their career later on in Europe.
All right. Thank you. So you mentioned, Miranda, about tech companies, and I noticed that tech companies nowadays, because they're consuming lots of energy to operate, and they're actually looking for ways to make themselves more efficient in terms of operation. And they also try to what is that? Pay more attention to the way they impact the environment with their operation. So of course, they are looking for talents who will be able to fill up the positions for green and sustainability jobs in their companies. And how about you, Chaymaa? Apart from tech companies, for example, that already mentioned by Miranda as well, is there any other sectors in France in which they're looking for talents in terms of green and sustainability jobs?
Yeah. Well, as Ireland, we also have, of course, the pharmaceutical and tech companies, but we also have transportation company, and I'm thinking about Airbus actually.
Mhm.
So now, like that's one of the main goals is to think about sustainability development. So now they are looking for people who are able, like, to have the engineering technical side, but also to be aware about the environment sciences and about everything linked to sustainability and how they can develop the company in a more sustainable, I can say like this, institution. Yeah. So we've got Airbus, and actually I was thinking also about how to say that, more like maybe public relation. I mean, in the French government too, we are looking for people who are aware about sustainable development. So we have like ministry who are focused on this kind of point of subjects. And I think it's important to have this in mind too. Like, I mean, sustainability is not about only technical or business, but it's also like an international relations question. So maybe, I don't know, you want to work in the United Nations. I think it will be a great thing actually to think to like, how to say that, to apply to a program in sustainability and then join maybe the United Nations or NGOs or things like this. Yeah.
All right. Okay, thank you, Chaymaa. So you mentioned a few interesting points, like for example, apart from the tech companies that Miranda already mentioned earlier, Chaymaa also mentioned the opportunities in the pharmaceutical companies, aviation companies, and then, for example, international organizations, and to some extent, the French government as well. So I think aviation is something as an industry that is pretty interesting when it comes to green and sustainability jobs, because I heard that, the aviation fuel, the prices are getting higher. And then that's why aviation companies are trying to make their operation more efficient. And like, for example, the engineering jobs are available to help these companies trying to come up with ways in which they can actually try to reduce the weight of the aircraft, for example. By reducing the weight of the aircraft, they will be consuming less and less fuel and making the operations more efficient and more sustainable. I think that's what is that, an angle that students can also explore when it comes to exploring different industries that which provide green and sustainability jobs. And also, don't forget international and regional organizations as well. So different institutions like regional institutions, international institutions, they are providing like different grants, for example, for different projects related to sustainability and green sector. So if you are somebody who's interested in the humanities field, for example, and interested in participating as a part of the international or the regional organization, I think it's going to be a good idea as well to pursue the programs related to sustainability and the green programs. And then before we proceed to the Q&A, because we already have, I don't know, like lots of questions from the audience, I have one more question before we proceed to the next session. So, for example, when it comes to, what is that? When it comes to special tips, all right. So any particular tips that you would like to share for the students who are planning to attend EHEF, who are interested in getting scholarships? Is there any particular tips that you can share, be it specific to France or specific to Ireland, for example? What would be able to elevate their position, would be able to increase their opportunity to get scholarship to France and to Ireland?
After you, Chaymaa. We go in
Okay.
alphabetical order.
Yeah, sure. Sure. So, actually, I think that if you want to be able to get a scholarships, you have to have to present a very clear study project first. You have like to say, okay, I want to study in this country because I want to study this program, because later I want to keep like maybe going for a master's degree, or maybe coming back to Indonesia to work, but you need to be clear about why you want to study there, why are you choosing this kind of field, and how it's going to help you in the future. So I think that's the first thing that I want to mention. And yeah, the second one is that you have to be able to speak about yourself. So of course, like you need to be able to present your academic profile. So having transcript, to have, of course, a very good academic profile, to be honest, because it's always like this. Most of the time we take the best academic profile. So like, yeah, have transcript with you, maybe some certificates, I don't know, like all kind of things that can show that you did well and you're doing well in academics. And the third one, you just have to show that like you're motivated, like you're not doing it just because you want to study or just because you don't have to choose the choice, or I don't know. But yeah, you have to show that you are sincere about it. So yeah, that's the three things that I would like. Yeah.
All right. So you should be able to present your own study project, or at least where the orientation is, and then the motivation as in why you're thinking about applying for that program, for that scholarship, for that particular country, and then provide a bigger picture, and don't forget to talk about yourself. All right. Thank you, Chaymaa. And how about you, Miranda? Any particular tips for the prospective students?
Yeah, I think for Ireland, probably students should start early researching well in advance, prior to deadlines. At the moment, there is one the Government of Ireland scholarship opened, and it will end in October. I've seen in the chat box that they've been asking. So, I mean, do a bit of research through our website, educationinireland.com. I think it's also important, Chandini, to tailor their applications. So not just copy paste and send it to, France, Germany, Ireland, Spain, etc. Have tailored applications and highlight their unique qualifications and how they will align with our Government of Ireland scholarship. I think it's also important to seek guidance and consult with, advisors or scholarship experts. There's Etude Indonesia, there's Scholars, there's many Indonesian experts that can support Indonesian students. I think building relationships with your professors and professionals in your field is also quite important. Go through your network. And I think, as well as France, in Ireland, students need to prepare for interviews, Chandini. So, if they are shortlisted, they need to be prepared for interviews, discuss academic goals, their motivation and suitability, and obviously, what they can bring back to Indonesia, because obviously, like France, our Irish universities are also listed on LPDP. So how can they bring back and, offer something back for Indonesia, to build Indonesia?
All right. Okay, thank you, Miranda. So I noticed a few interesting points from your explanation. So this is very important before you start applying for any program, be it the study program, be it the scholarship program. Make sure you're aware of the deadline. So make sure you're aware of the timeline, when it's going to be open, when it's going to be closed, so you're not going to miss any of those applications. So first of all, pay attention to the timeline. And then second of all, I think you delivered a really great point, Miranda. It's about tailoring your application. So apart from, sending different applications to different countries, sometimes there might be some students who are actually sending, unfortunately, the same letter of motivation to different higher education institutions as well. So for example, when you're applying for the Trinity College Dublin first time, and then it turns out that you're sending the same exact application to the Galway University. So let's try to avoid that. Make sure you tailor your application according to the program, the university, or the higher education institution, or the country that you're actually after. And then for interviews, so I think it's going to be a great idea as well for the prospective students, as Miranda mentioned, to prepare yourselves before the interview. So I would be able to anticipate what would be the potential questions over here, how I can better highlight my strengths, how I can highlight my weaknesses and how to mitigate them, for example, things like that. And of course, what you're thinking about getting back to Indonesia once you come home and finish your study. All right. So we've got many questions, but we're gonna try to address that we have the questions that we have right now. I think first of all, I would like to go to France. I would like to go to Chaymaa. So Chaymaa, so there's this question from one of the participants because Miranda shared earlier about the ability for graduates from Ireland to work in the country after their study. How is it going, the employment state for the graduates in France? Like students, like do they have to, do they have the possibility to work after the program is over or what? Perhaps you can share about it.
So actually, it's pretty the same as Ireland. So if you got your master's degree or bachelor's degree, then you have like 1 year to find a job. And if you find a job within the year, so of course you will have some criteria to respect. For example, we ask you to have like a minimum. You will have to earn a minimum wage, and it has to be in the field linked to the field that you study in France too. But it's totally possible to stay and work there. Yeah. So if you find the work within a year, you will be able like to have so how we call it, like the residence permit, and so you can like keep on staying in France and working there. Yeah.
All right. So students after graduating from institutions in France, they have the right to stay for 1 year.
Yeah.
1 year, and then as long as they can get a job which meets the minimum wage requirement in France, and then that is also related to the program that they studied earlier, then you can continue staying in France and work there.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you so much, Chaymaa. And I have one question for Miranda. Right. So I think for Ireland, okay. Let me see. Okay, so there's this quite long question, but I think this is very important. For Miranda, I'd like to know whether Ireland government will issue scholarship or grant to prospective postgraduate students for incoming intake years. I searched and had no clue about this information. Any institution or representative in Indonesia that will be able to provide this information about scholarship and grant to postgraduate students.
Yes, thank you for the question. Thank you, Chandini. Yes, you may contact me actually. Maybe I'll repeat my phone number slowly. It is at 0812-9788-4503. You're welcome to WhatsApp me, and I will be very happy and glad to help you. Yes, the Government of Ireland Scholarship is open at the moment, and the deadline is quite close in October. So if you wish, please feel free to WhatsApp me at your convenience.
All right.
Postgrad in Ireland is 1 year, so it's quite quick. And as I mentioned earlier as well, that you may stay back in Ireland for 2 years to find a job after completing your studies. I think the only difference is if you receive an LPDP scholarship, it is not possible to do the part-time work, as I mentioned at my presentation earlier, and also stay back with the stay back options that I mentioned before. Thank you, Chandini.
All right. So you mentioned that the postgraduate program lasts for 1 year in Ireland. And then because the scholarship program is already open at the moment and will be closed in October. So if you're interested in, pursuing that program in Ireland and applying for the scholarship, reach out to Miranda with the number that was mentioned earlier. Right. So it seems like we still have more questions coming up. So this particular question applies both to France and Ireland. I would like to go to Miranda. For example, is there any limit for age, the age limit for scholarship programs to Ireland?
For Ireland, no, there's no age limit.
All right. So for the government funded scholarship, there is no age limit for Ireland.
That's right. I think through LPDP there is an age limit, but for the government of Ireland, no.
All right. So you have to pay attention if you're thinking about studying in Ireland with LPDP scholarship. Yes, there is an age limit. But if you are thinking about applying for the scholarships from the Irish government, there is no age limit for that. So yeah, that's your answer for Ireland. And how about you, Chaymaa? Any age limit for scholarships in France?
So actually, yeah, for the France Excellence one that I talked about, we've got a limit. It's 30 years old. So it can be quite limited. So that's why I always tell the Indonesian students that it will be better if you like go with the LPDP scholarships, or maybe like I always trying to find solution about this. But you need to know that we have like scholarships specific to sustainability, which is called MOBGA, and it means Make Our Planet Great Again. And we offer this kind of scholarships to researchers who want to come to do their research in France. And of course, research is linked to sustainability. And for this one, actually, well, I don't remember the limit, but the age limit is higher. Yeah.
All right. So for France Excellence, there's a 30-year or limit for applicants. But for MOBGA, there is like for the researchers to do research in France, there's no age limit or higher.
Yes, that's it.
It's all right. Okay. So that's your answer for scholarships to France and Ireland. But pay attention, be it for France or Ireland, if you're thinking about going for LPDP, there is an age limit that you would have to meet when it comes to LPDP, regardless of the countries that you're after. So that's something that you need to pay attention to. All right. So more questions about from the audience, I think, because we still have time, then the questions are still coming up. For Miranda, I think I would like to hear from you because you mentioned that for the bachelor's program, students who graduate from bachelor's program in Ireland will be able to have the right to stay in the country for 1 year. Is there a possibility for them to stay longer than that?
Yeah, definitely. I think once you have been accepted to the potential company, let's say, for instance, Google, if you then have an extended contract with them, yes, obviously you can stay back in Ireland to do so. I think I also would like to highlight, after 5 years you live in Ireland and start paying taxes to these reputable companies, you are eligible to also apply for your permanent residency in Ireland.
All right, so you can also apply for residency in Ireland for the EU residency once you have stayed over there for a few years. All right, I think 4 questions. Okay, so France, for Chaymaa, this is interesting. This is an interesting question. Is it true that a person who was aware that this scholarship and take master's program related to STEM, for instance, food innovation and product design at Agro Paritech, will get an exemption for tuition fee in accordance with the Article R71949 of the National Education Code? Thank you.
Okay, that's a very specific question, indeed. Maybe I'm sorry, I'm trying to, I'm looking for it because it was a little bit long. I'm reading it at the end, that's okay. I have a particular question about multi-skills scholarship. Related to STEM question. Actually, I don't want to be wrong about this. I will need to check. I will need to check before answering the question. We may have this, but since it's very specific to a particular schools, AgroParisTech, so I need to see if it's really the case or not. So maybe if that's okay for you, so Novelia.
Right.
Yeah, you can just write to me. You can write to me and I will give you your answer. Maybe I can share. Can I share my phone number, my WhatsApp number
Just please
on the?
feel free. You can mention your number that people can text directly.
Yeah. Okay. So it's actually yeah. Maybe I can't write it, right? I don't have the chat. I don't have access to the chat, right?
Yeah, just
Okay.
mention it.
Okay, sorry. So it's 088521561878. So do not hesitate to contact me through WhatsApp and I will give you the answer.
All right. Or they can also reach out to any of those emails that you already mentioned as well, right?
Yes, totally. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Since we are already approaching the end of this session, I think I would like to invite both Chaymaa and Miranda to offer some kind of a closing statement to encourage students and prospective students to study in France and study in Ireland. So perhaps Miranda, we can go from you first.
Okay, thank you, Chandini. So thanks everyone for attending this very insightful info session organized by the Committee of the European Higher Education Fair. We are most excited to welcome you to Ireland. We are a small but yet beautiful country. We are the only English-speaking country in Europe, and we also have, job opportunities for you. Our universities help you prepare for that. And I'm most excited to meet you at the EHEF fairs in Jogja and Jakarta. I will also be bringing some of our alumni, so I think it'll be very insightful for you guys to come and meet us all at the European Higher Education Fair. Thanks, Chandini.
Thank you, Miranda. Over to you, Chaymaa.
Yeah, so thank you to the EHEF committee for organizing this webinar. Just one last fact which is important. If you come to Europe and you got a visa, you will have the Schengen visa and you will be able to move freely all around Europe, which is a very great thing to do. So if you go to Ireland, come to France, and if you come to France, go to Ireland and to the other countries too. So yeah, and thank you for your time. I really hope that I will be able to meet you at the fair, along with all my European colleagues. I will be there for Yogyakarta and Jakarta as well. So please do not hesitate to come. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chaymaa, and thank you so much, Miranda. All right, so thank you so much for both speakers, and thank you so much for the audience who has been participating in today's webinar. So just to remind you, if you're interested in attending EHEF, don't forget to check out the website, the official website, virtual.ehef.id, in which you can find information about which countries are going to be present and which education institutions are going to be present as well. And for example, if you have any, and you can also sign up, you can also register yourself at the EHEF website before coming to Yogyakarta on the 30th of October, and then for the one in Jakarta on the 2nd and the 3rd of November. There will be more than 60 higher education institutions participating from 14 European countries, including information about scholarship from the scholarship providers. All right, this event is held as a part of the European Higher Education Fair Indonesia 2024, supported by the European Union delegation. Don't forget to join our next webinar that is going to be coming up next week. We're going to be having representatives from Denmark, from Finland, and from Sweden as well. And you already have the contact details of both speakers. Feel free to reach out to them for further questions, if you have further questions. And don't forget to drop your questions as well at the EHEF Instagram official account. All right. Well, again, thank you so much, Miranda. Thank you so much, Chaymaa. And for the audience, thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much for your
you.
time.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Terima kasih Chandini.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Terima
Glenn.
kasih.
Thank you, everyone. Boleh leave ya.
Thank you.